let's kind of move a bit further forward in your career, because what was it, 230 odd games for Millwall, but we don't care about that. We just care about the 40 odd games that you played for Sheffield United. So how did that move come about, Paul?
So we, as we spoke about a little bit off air, I always scored against United. I don't know why. I love playing against them. It must have been Paddy. I like putting the ball past Paddy, I think.
We can't get down into the corners, can I?
No, that's right. And he was always so angry about it because he'd always be on the verge of a clean sheet. Like I said, it didn't matter what the score was, I'd always score. So a couple of times he was 4-0 up probably, and I'd nick one late and he'd be very angry. But I think everybody knew that if you did well against the Warnock team, he'd try and sign you at some point. And we played him. We played him in the game where it all kicked off in the tunnel, which you've probably gone over a few times with different people. And He was super angry with me that night.
He said it's the famous line, isn't it? It's the
Mate,
famous line.
People say that to me all the time.
Oh, sorry.
All the time. No, it's fine. But they say the line. They come up to me and they don't say hello. They just go, must get that. Right. So, yeah, I get that. They get that all the time, which is quite funny, to be fair. But
do you know when he came over to shake your hand, were you expecting him to say, "Oh, well played, lad"?
Yeah, absolutely. and I didn't get to that point. But after that had all happened, he did pull me aside and said, "Oh, well done. I'd love to sign you one day." And I thought nothing of it. And then we played him. I think it was the following season. I'm not sure with the dates, but I think it was the following season. We played him the last game of the season. Sheffield had just missed out on the playoffs. We'd finished maybe 2 places behind them. We beat them at Bramwell Lane, last game of the season. There were shouts for Warnock out and all that stuff. And he pulled me after the game and said, "Look, if I'm still here," he said, "I'm going to sign you." And I said, "Okay." But I'd heard it before from different managers and I thought nothing of it. So we'd gone home. A couple of days later, I think we were having the end of season do at Millwall, and one of the directors came to me and said, "Look, Sheffield United have just put in a bid. So have a couple of other teams. I think we're going to have to let you go. We need the money." And he said, "I think you should go and speak to Sheffield." So I was like, "Okay." So went up with the missus to Sheffield, had a look round, met with Neil. He took us out for dinner with his wife. Had a great time. Kind of agreed to the deal. But I was in the background speaking. Yeah,
Neil's got that way, hasn't he? Neil can talk anyone into it.
He told me what I wanted to hear. I was happy enough with the deal, and then I'd gone home again, same old thing. Said bye to everybody. I was moving up to Sheffield, and then I was getting on the train, and then I had a phone call from Mark McGee, and Mark McGee was my old coach at Millwall. He'd since gone, and Dennis Wise had taken over. And Mark said to me, "I hear you're going to Sheffield." I said, "I'm literally just leaving now." And he said, "You can't sign." I said, "Why?" He said, "Look, there's a bigger club coming in for you, but I can't tell you who it is." I said, "Look, you need to tell me more than that." I said, I've kind of agreed here. And he said, "Look, my mate's got a job." I said, "Who's your mate?" And he said, Gordon Strachan. So I'm like, Gordon Strachan at the time, I think he just left Southampton. And I'd played against Southampton the year before in the FA Cup and played really well. And Strachan did pull me aside after and said, "Look, I'm going to monitor your progress and blah, blah, blah." So I'm thinking, right, where's he going to get a job? He said, it's a bigger job than Sheffield. So I'm thinking it has to be the Premier League then. And I'm thinking,
not Newcastle.
Well, no, that would be a killer. That would be a killer. No. So I ring my agent after I get off the phone to Mark and I said, "Look, this is what I've just heard." And he said, "Look, we can't go on ifs, buts and maybes. You told me to get you the deal. This is what the numbers are. Let's go. You've got to go." So I went up and signed. Over the moon, and then the next day in the papers, it was announced that Gordon Strachan had become the head coach of Celtic.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah, no, a little bit guy, but for me, I'd already decided that I thought Sheffield United would be able to get to the Premier League, and I always wanted to play in the Premier League. I didn't want to play in the Scottish Premier League. It would have been nice, you get the Champions League up there every year, but I wanted to play in the Premier League. So I do tell that story quite often, and people are like, "Oh," but I wouldn't. I don't think I'd have given it up. I was happy with the move that I'd made.